Yo, what's up, YouTube? Hope you're doing well. Hey, I got one of the best, if not the best, credit and funding and trade lines and financial literacy coach on the other side of the call with me right now. Benjetta Steele, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, motivated,
Let's go.
educated.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
Motivation. Let's get it. Uh, as a brief introduction, me and Benjetta, we've been working together for the past 2 months, and I know when we first started pushing the content, right? It was an adjustment. And she was like, "Yo, my hair, yo, this. I need to get this. I need to have this recorded a certain way." But now she's having people look up to her, right? And it's a real thing where first
Content
she was
changes
like,
lives.
yeah, content change lives. So yeah, before we get into everything, before we get into the interview, Benjetta, give them a brief introduction on who you are, what you do, and how you help people.
What's up, you guys? My name is Benjetta Steele. I am the CEO and founder of Mother of Motivation, where I help entrepreneurs leverage their personal credit by, accessing other people's money, starting their own business, structuring their business, helping them build business credit, and then also mentoring them on, the financial literacy aspect on how to leverage their credit, so therefore they can create passive streams of income.
Yeah,
So
there we go.
I've been
Passive
in the
streams of
industry for
income.
like 7 years, and my goal is to be able to help people create financial freedom. We all need it. It's
There we
very
go.
important. No matter if you're 18 on up, we need financial literacy. So here to help my
Let's
community.
go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yep. She's helping the community every single day. If you don't know, Benjetta, her page full of testimonials, easily one of the best at getting people funded, putting people in the right position to where they understand credit, they understand what goes into a credit score, they understand everything, right? So yeah, Benjetta, you already been in the game for 7 years, right? Like obviously before we started working together 2 months ago, you had served multiple people, right? Hundreds of people. You're emailing us thousands of people. But break it down. Like before we started working together, where were you at in terms of actually posting content?
So I'm gonna be honest. This new page that we generated, it was
Yeah.
it was established back in October of 2024 because two of
Yeah.
my other prior pages had been deleted. So starting from the bottom, going up to the top, it was like, of
Mm-hmm.
course, I have learned a few things, but sometimes when it comes down to growing your social media platform, you're trying to build your integrity all over again. You're trying to build your followers up. So it was really important for me to post valuable content, but also you want to make sure that content looks right. And of course, before
Yeah.
I found you less than like 60 days ago, I think it's been less than 60
It's
days.
crazy. Well, we
Um,
we knew each other already, but before we
mhm.
started working. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, it wasn't where it needed to be. My content wasn't where it needed to be. And I really know I needed some infrastructure. I had people telling
Yeah.
me like, hey, in order for you to build your platform and people to look at you differently, you need that content. And I
Yeah.
just didn't have that guidance. It's one thing with
Yeah.
somebody telling you one thing, but it's another thing when you have somebody guiding you. So that was really
Mm.
important. And God sent me you.
Mm. I appreciate it. Yeah. God sent you the
Somebody
the
younger
guy.
than me teaching me.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. So break that down a little bit. I know you said two things, right? You had people helping you on your content before, and obviously, we've talked. I know you had a VA and they were doing some things, but talk to me about, or at least tell the audience a little bit about like the type of content you were putting out and um what you had going on before we started working on the videos.
Yeah, so before I met Carson, it was basically I had a VA that I had hired off Fiverr. I had a couple of VAs.
Mhm.
Of
Oh,
course,
okay.
with the VAs, they're not going to really do but so much. And honestly, if you're not a content creator, you're not going to be able to tell them what to do, and you don't even know what to look for. Like really, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just like post valuable content. I would send them a few pages to mimic, but at the same time, it's a specific quality of content. You can post
Yeah.
3 times a day. But if the content isn't engaging, then people are not going
Hmm.
to engage. You'll get two likes and they'll just keep on rolling past. So with that
Yeah.
being said, I had a few VAs from Fiverr and they were cool. I still work with them, but they weren't giving me what I needed to elevate.
Mm,
So once
got you.
again, I'm gonna keep it real. I always keep it real. When I met you, the content did, and even in a short period of time, the notice, people start noticing like, oh, who doing your content? What's going on? I
Yeah,
see it. Like people started remixing it, and I'm just like, hey, my
yeah,
guy Carson, he
yeah,
really hitting, he
yeah,
really lit.
for
So
sure.
I'm like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
have to pay for
Nah,
this
that's
thing. No.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And tell me, right, like obviously, so you had, I didn't even know you had a couple of VAs. They were seeing some other pages, maybe that do credit, do funding, and you like, okay, you give them this page, and you like, make content like this. But it wasn't really like a strategy. It was kind of like, hey, go do this, and then they do it, and then they bring it back, and you like, hey, this ain't what I was
It's
looking
postable.
for.
It's
Yeah.
postable. Just post it because I don't even feel like stressing to try to make you something that you're not because you can't
Mm-hmm.
make them like they can't do but so much, Like
Mm-hmm.
honestly, if that's not their expertise, it's not their expertise, But they can make the
Yeah.
boring posts, they can make the boring reels, but how are you gonna catch the eye of it? So with that
Yeah.
being said, having different you can hire people, but you don't want to waste too much time and money because you might pay somebody $300 that's going to just fill your page up with boring posts versus somebody
Yeah.
that you might have to invest. It might take an investment, but it's going to change the
Okay.
dynamics. It's going to really turn your content into cash
Yeah.
flow. So it's another passive
Yeah.
stream of income.
There we go. Content to cash. Yeah.
Content to
And
cash,
and
baby.
tell yeah. Yeah. Tell the audience a little bit about also like I know a lot of people that's their goal, right? Their goal is to have that content be their main source of cash flow where people see them, now that people trust them, and then when people trust you and they spend time with you, that means they eventually gonna spend money with you. So obviously that's the goal for a lot of people. But break it down, right? Like before working with me, obviously the content wasn't where it is now. So how are you actually getting more people in front of, your products and services?
So, like basically, far as how I was getting people in front of it, I do have
Yeah.
partnerships and referrals, and people trust me based on real life experiences.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But trusting people on the internet, people trusting you on the internet is a totally different opposite thing. And like I told Carson,
I got you.
everybody has their way of doing things. Not everybody needs
Uh-huh.
the internet to make money, but if you want to be
Yeah.
known in that area and space, you have to ramp up your
Mm-hmm.
credibility and you have to
Yeah.
also build that trustworthiness. So before I met
Mm-hmm.
Carson, I wasn't really doing the call to action. I wasn't really
Mm-hmm.
giving them prompts, letting them know step by step. I just was giving them the information
Mm-hmm.
based on boring posts,
Yeah.
So once again, when
Yeah,
I ramped up
yeah.
the content, when I met Carson, not only did he change the dynamics of how I did the scriptures and structure of the content,
Mm-hmm.
but we was giving them step one. We give them step one, step two, step three, and people like the sequence of giving them steps versus,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is what you need to do,
All over the place. Yeah.
yeah, all over the
Yeah.
place. So, having that
Yeah, for sure.
structure and also having a call to action plays a important key piece to your business because you can tell
Yeah.
them all the information all day, but if they like, okay, so I'm gonna take it and run with it. I'm gonna try to go do what you do. But if you give them a call to
Mm-hmm.
action to book this call or comment mentorship, then basically you're leading
Mm-hmm.
them into the flow of,
Yeah. Yeah.
taking action,
To
turning that
basically your
content
ecosystem.
into cash.
Cash is a cash. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And obviously, like I know a lot of people they might be in the same position as you, right? Like they might have the partnerships because again, you said yourself, you're like, yo, I got a lot of partners in real life. Like I got a business this and a lot of people find me through just me shaking hands and doing what I
Mhm.
do when I network, right? So obviously you were really good at that. But I guess what what do you feel like the online presence that you now have, like what do you feel like that's done for you that maybe doing stuff in person just it couldn't get you there? Like what would you say is like the
Of
difference
course,
if you were telling
like it
somebody?
shows my personality. It shows that I'm more credible.
Yeah,
It shows that I'm more knowledgeable. It shows that I'm more informative. It doesn't show that I'm just offering the service, but I know what I'm talking about. It shows
yeah,
people that I am investing into my brand, like I really care about my brand. It just shows that credibility on a whole different level because once again, me and Carson talk about this all the time, but your content is your credibility. It's just like your credit profile.
Mm.
If you don't have a strong structured credit profile, how
Ooh.
can a person trust you? So once
Yeah.
again,
Social media profile. Yeah.
yeah. So I needed that extra push. And I'm just like, hey, well, I'm in this space and industry where God has blessed me. Let me be able to bless my page by having the right person. So I was like, thank you. Like even when he did that first free video and just showing me
Yeah.
what he was capable of doing, I was like, this is a no brainer. Let me go ahead and invest in this young man business
Yeah.
because he know what he's
Yeah.
doing and he's gonna help me turn it
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's such a good
seriously.
connection because no, for sure. That's such a good connection that you made between, people, especially like obviously a lot of the clients I work with, right? Like, thankfully to Benjetta, she's referred a lot of people to me, and a lot of them have credit and funding offers that they have. They offer funding and credit services, and they might be so focused on their client's credit profile and their own credit profile, but they don't pay attention to their content profile, right? Like you got an amazing credit report, 780 credit score, no late payments, no evictions. You got positive history, but what is the history like on your social media profile? Do you have a history of content? Do you have a history of testimonials that's on your page? Like, are you posting the stories? And do you actually have credibility? Do you have good payment history? Have you been paying value to your followers, right? Or are you just paying, oh, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product? If you go to the banks and you always asking for funding, but you got a whole bunch of debt that you ain't paid down, you- yeah, the banks is gonna be like, yo, we need to delete this. Yeah, facts,
You
facts.
go circle back when you got your stuff together. Yeah.
Facts. They're gonna send you right out the door, and so will your audience. So,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah. So,
important. It's really important. I feel like this has changed the dynamics of my platform. Once again, sometimes we worry about the investment up front, but you have to understand that investing at the beginning is going to bring longevity in the end. So therefore, you can't
yeah.
always have the mindset to think, oh, this is like a bill or this is a you have to invest in your brand, period, no matter
Mm-hmm.
who you are, no
Yeah.
matter where you are, if you're an established business, if you're a new entrepreneur, or whether if
Yeah.
you're just building, you have to invest in your brand. And that's with everything: products, content,
Mm-hmm.
services, the right staff,
Yeah.
you building, learning. So all of that plays a part.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, if you don't invest in your brand, you'll lose to the person that's investing in theirs, right?
There you go,
Because
your
people gonna
competition.
people gonna spend money. It's about if they spend it with you or not. If they
Yep.
credit bad, they like, hey, I'm gonna go with Pookie down the street, or I'm gonna go with Benjetta because I see her every day. She's talking, she's giving me so much value. She's in front of the credit unions, and she just over delivering. So yeah, that's really good. So breakdown, like obviously that was the before, right? Before we started working together, you had the VAs, you had the partnerships, and you didn't have that trustworthiness and credibility online. Now break down the before the after, right? Like after posting the content, now that we've been working, like what have been some like what's how has that contributed to the business growth? Like maybe not specific numbers, but what has it done for you in terms of just, getting more clientele?
Yeah, so not only have I been able to get more people, DMing me,
Hmm.
but more of my target audience, right?
There we
Because at
go.
first I was trying to get, my goal was to help entrepreneurs. Now, since I'm posting more relevant information pertaining to my niche and also
Hmm.
to appeal to the entrepreneurs that I'm looking for, they're contacting me. They're like, "What are you
Wow.
doing? I want to
There we
know
go.
this. I want to know that. I want to know this. How did you do that?"
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
all comes
Yeah.
from the information from the content. Like, what are you doing over
Hmm.
here? How is this working? And basically
Yeah.
they're paying more attention because of the content that's being produced and what is
Hmm.
coming out of my mouth versus when I was saying it before. They're like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, we
Yeah.
see you a little smart," but now they're like, "Oh, your content is fire." People are calling me. I had like 6 calls in one week. Like, who was doing your content? Who is this? Like, this content is fire. So I'm just like, oh, you want to know who's doing my content?
Yeah. Yeah. Is this another offer? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
baby, I had to
Yeah, yeah,
pay and I
yeah.
had to find this knowledge, so this wasn't just
Yeah.
dropped from the sky. I had to do my
Yeah.
research too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
facts, facts,
so
facts. Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
if we really want to wrap it up, you really have to, understand the right person has to do the content, because you can easily try to go mimic what somebody else is doing and it's not going to always hit right. So
Hmm. Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
grow.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I love that you said that, right? I feel like that's actually a good point that you made in terms of if you started attracting more of your target audience. Because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs, they might watch this on the other side of the screen and they feel like if they hire somebody to do their content, that okay, I hired this content guy or I hired this person to do content, they gotta make me viral, right? I gotta attract everybody. I gotta have everybody follow me. But even though, like, yes, you've gotten, if people see your page right now compared to 3 months ago, then it's night and day in terms of engagement you're getting. But it's about the right people that's engaging with you now, right? Like, actually, the entrepreneurs. Because if you trying to make, right, like in terms of just funding, if people do funding on the other side of the screen, for you to make say 10K off a client, then you gotta get them 100K in business funding. You gotta work with business owners. You can't work with Pookie down the street. You can't work with just some college
Great.
student that's
Yeah.
trying to get a bunch of views. Yeah, yeah,
Or,
you got to
yeah,
have a specific
a
group of people,
credible
right?
a credible individual who has that structure. And
Mm-hmm.
once again, it goes back. We need structured business credit and personal credit, but we also need structured content. So therefore, I can lure those type of people in to
Yeah,
be,
exactly.
be more credible to their vision. So once again, my goal is to help people, but we're also helping people together to give them valuable content to
For
let them
sure.
know, what's going to change their life, and then we convert it all over. So it all works
Yeah,
hand in hand.
yeah,
Yep.
facts, facts. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And also, I'm curious. This is something that um I know you probably realize, like, with content it can open up a lot of doors, right? Obviously the credibility and people knowing, liking, and trusting you, like that factor, that's always going to be there. But what would you say is something that came from the content that you didn't expect, like once you started pushing out, like it's like, yo, I'm like something that was unexpected that you got?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of people that share my content that's been watching me for years, but now they share the content, like they remixing the content. My
Yeah, yeah,
major
they reacted
mentor
to
is
it.
sharing the content. I have, a lot of the entrepreneurs they're sharing my content. So not only is that helping me to be in front of other people besides my audience, but that's helping me to push the algorithm and,
Hmm.
on the social media platforms to get that credibility built up even stronger. So,
There we go. Yeah, yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So before we wrap up the interview, like I'm curious, like obviously you know where you were, 3 months ago, right? You had majority partnerships in terms of how you were getting clients, and now 3 months later, big brand is way bigger, content is way, way more
better.
professional. Yeah,
Yeah.
way, yeah, brand's way bigger, content way better, everything. What would you tell what would you tell yourself 3 months ago, knowing what you know now about
Uh,
content and just,
I would
investing
have
in your
been
brand?
invested into that content. I would have
Mm,
been investing into that content, because before you start to try to run ads, before you start to
mm,
try to, get people to like, trust and like you, have the
mhm.
content built up on your page first, and
Yeah,
then you work on the rest after. Have the content built up on your page first, then you do the ad boosting and so forth. So therefore, the world can start to see you and push you in the
yeah,
algorithm. Because
yeah,
once
yeah, yeah.
again, when the content is good, people are going to like it. People are going to share it, and you don't even
Mhm.
really have to do it as much over. You can resurface that content over and over and over and over and over. So
Yeah,
one
yeah.
person might not seen it last week, but if you push it, and the algorithm does have this way of doing like a trial period, where if you push it
Uh-huh.
next week, you might get 100,000 likes. So
Yeah,
you just have to understand how social media content and investing in yourself all works hand in hand.
yeah, for sure. That's a good point that you made. Like people focus so much on running ads. Oh, I gotta make money. I gotta run these ads. But it's like the analogy I love. One of my mentors said. He's like running ads without having content is like inviting people to Thanksgiving with no food.
That's true.
Cause like you invite all these people, it's like yo, you inviting all these people to your page. It's like yo,
I'm
come to my
hungry.
page, come to my page, and then you open the door, and then it's like, damn, where the food at?
Oh, boring.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah,
Time to go. I'm about to
facts,
unfollow.
yeah,
I'm not even coming back to no more posts.
unfollowing, yeah, yeah, because they go to your page because they're looking for food. They're looking for okay, what is this person saying? Like, can I consume this person's content just like you consume food? They're like, yo, like, does he have tips? Does he have some game? Does he have testimonials? Nothing, right? No turkey, no mac and cheese, no gravy, no collard greens, no uh, sweet potato pie. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's for sure. Yeah,
But yeah,
facts,
so the
facts,
content is super duper important. Elevate your content will elevate your cash flow. Turning that
for
content into
sure.
cash, and also creating that credibility. It all works hand in hand, no matter what you are doing in life. So
Facts. There we go.
capture your
Yeah,
life, record
there we
it, give
go.
out value, help
That's
others,
how you do it.
invest in your brand, and contact Carson for that content.
Facts. Facts. I appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, just last question to round it off. If somebody was on the fence, like they may be seeing this YouTube video or however they're seeing it, and they might be on the fence about working with me, they might have seen my page before. What would you tell them about working with me now, haven't done it?
So I'm gonna be honest, it's really hard for me to trust people, right? And I
Hmm.
always pray about that discernment to send me the right people along my business journey. You
Yeah,
just can't
yeah,
deal with anybody in business because people are very manipulative and people will
they are.
burn you. But you have to have the right people that really care about your content. So not only does Carson do the content, but he meets with me once a week to do mentorship. Like he mentors me on how
Yeah.
to structure my camera, how to do the call of action. We done met like 4 times this week. I'm sleepy.
Yeah, nah,
But
for sure.
no, you know,
Yeah, I love meeting with clients. Yeah,
yeah, so I love his personality. He's down to earth. And the powerful thing for me that really makes me like really trust him even more and just really want to support him on the other another level is you're 21 and you're chasing your dreams. Like your mindset don't even think
yeah,
like you're 21 though. You know what I'm saying? So that gives me that
yeah,
you've been here before and God has just put this passion in you to help others, and we all have our own creative skills. So I'm glad that you're using your creativity that God gave you at such a young age to help you help other
yeah,
people. That's to me that's
yeah.
amazing. And that's what I aspire for my young men to be like. So to see you doing it and my son sees you doing it, it can inspire him to do something that he's
Yeah,
passionate about. So I'm just saying
yeah,
my point to say is I trust you, and you are
yeah,
valuable and you make sure that you're on top of me, like and you
I
you
do.
motivate me at the same time. So he
Yeah.
even came out in the cold to record some film at the bank. I know that was out of his comfort
Yeah.
zone.
And
So
then it didn't complain. I was like, yo, let me just get the
he did
gloves.
complain, but I was
Boom.
like, I gotta go, Carson. It's cold. I'm getting
Yeah,
sick.
you folded. I was like, shit,
Gotta
we go
go.
bump out one more? Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you,
For
Carson.
sure.
I appreciate you. Genuinely,
Anytime.
genuinely. The time is
For
over.
sure. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, Benjetta, I appreciate you. That's definitely a good way to end it out. For people that don't know where they can find you, how they can tap in, break that down a little bit. Drop your social media handles for people that want to
Yes,
tap in with you.
guys. You can find me at Instagram at I am Benjetta the Boss. I am Benjetta the Boss, and on Facebook at Benjetta Boss Lady, and on YouTube at Mother of Motivation LLC. Let's get it. Let's grow.
There we go. Yeah, yeah. You already know where to find me. My link's in the description. And if you need any type of information about working with me, you can click the link in my bio. Tell Benjetta, say Benjetta sent you, and I'll be happy to hook you up. Keep shining.
Let's
Talk
go.
soon.
Hey.
Let's get it. Let's go.